Hi, hello, my name is Caleb. Welcome back to my channel. Here's the tea. This is literally the fourth time that I have been trying to record this since the beginning, and I just cannot get to the end. And I think it has to do with me posturing myself a little bit too much, trying to sound really energetic, trying to sound really intelligent, and also trying to speak really coherently at the same time. So let's just drop that. I'm going to try to talk really candidly and just share my experience to the camera, and hopefully editing will do the rest. Yeah? Okay, so for those who are new to my channel, hi, my name is Caleb. I'm a trans guy, FTM. I am female presenting right now, very much so, because I am not out publicly for the most part, and most importantly, I'm not out to the conservative members of my family who would be okay with me presenting as masculine as I prefer. And so there are a couple of things that I do as a trans guy living in the closet who needs to cope with things like physical dysphoria and vocal dysphoria. Physical dysphoria is a topic that I want to tackle all on its own in another video. Vocal dysphoria is something that I have talked about before. In a previous video, I talked about how operatic voice training helped me to pitch my voice down when I speak, because I was given the awareness of where my muscles are and how they cooperate to produce certain registers, certain pitches, that sort of thing. I'm going to link that video down in the description box below in case you're kind of interested in that. Now, what I want to accomplish in this video is basically two things. One, I was inspired by a video that I saw recently where this YouTuber who was multilingual, I believe she spoke 11 or 12 languages, and she talked in the target language, specifically about how she learned that language. So that is one thing that I want to incorporate sort of as a component of this video. When I talk about the other 4 or 5 languages that I speak, I'm going to be speaking in that target language, hopefully, or a little bit of a mix of everything, just because that's how multilingual brains work. That's the tea. So the second thing that I want to accomplish is talk to you about when, where, and how I notice my vocal dysphoria being tripped up when I'm speaking in other languages other than English, and what I do to minimize that dysphoria. My first language is Tagalog or Filipino. My second language is English, though I have native mastery of it. My third language is Spanish. My fourth language is Portuguese. My fifth is Italian, and sixth, I can't speak it, but I can definitely understand it. That would be French. Since bata pa ako, talagang Tagalog ang salita sa bahay. Hindi ko masyadong ginagamit ang Tagalog nung una kasi wala naman akong masyadong confidence sa pronunciation ko, sa Tagalog ko, sa mga conjugations ko ng mga verbs and adjectives, mga ganon. Talagang mas magaling ang ate ko sa Tagalog nung bata kami. Pero nung lumaki na ako, medyo nagkaroon na ako ng confidence dun sa Tagalog ko. Tsaka talagang, kumbaga, may mga nabuka na opportunity sa akin, mga ideas na gusto kong i-express, cultural differences, mga everyday things, mga emosyon ko. Kasi sa English, ginagamit ko yon mostly sa school, sa trabaho, those kinds of contexts. Pero may mga cultural ideas na hindi ko masyadong ma-express in English just because either they didn't exist in English or translation would be kind of clunky between the two languages, or I was just simply thinking in Tagalog at the time. Ngayon, nung pumasok ako sa college, yo empecé a estudiar español mucho más seriamente que cuando yo estaba en high school. Eventualmente, yo conseguí un bachelor's en español, también una maestría en la literatura española con un minor en linguistics y también un minor en los estudios culturales. Y ahora mismo estoy estudiando para completar mi programa doctoral en el mismo campo. Como parte de ese programa, estoy enseñando una clase cada semestre de como 17, 18 estudiantes subgraduados. Soy instructor de la adquisición de español. Y para dar un poco más de contexto, cuando estoy enseñando, la meta es la inmersión completa. Esa es como la técnica de instrucción aquí en esta universidad. Entonces, cuando entro en el salón de clase, yo hablo en español. Yo evito usar inglés para que los estudiantes se puedan ajustar a oír español. And I was talking to my friend Daisy a couple of weeks back. She's also a YouTuber and she's also multilingual. She speaks French and English. I will link her information in the description box below. You should go check out her content. It's really good, it's really chaotic, and very artistic and smart. She and I were talking about how she was watching back my film Observation, and she noticed that possibly one of the reasons why my vocal dysphoria gets tripped up when I speak in Spanish is because I'm speaking Spanish in the context of a classroom where I'm enunciating, where I'm trying to project my voice to students who are trying to hear me, trying to learn me, trying to decipher the differences between certain sounds. And so, cuando eso pasa, automáticamente ya estoy hablando en un registro mucho más alto que en inglés, por ejemplo, o que en Tagalog. And you may have even just heard the shift just now when I went up to Spanish. Agora, não sei se é a mesma coisa com o português. Neste momento, estou no processo de aprender português brasileiro, para ser específico. É um pouco diferente do processo de aprender espanhol, porque não estou ensinando nada em português, e também acho que há algum aspecto do acento brasileiro que desencadena algo como um registro muito mais baixo in Portuguese. I feel like when I speak in Portuguese, it's kind of low right off the bat, which, you know, I mean, that makes me really happy because it's like one less language that I have to worry about tripping up my dysphoria. Obviously, one other thing that's probably worth mentioning is that Spanish and Portuguese, like almost all other Romance languages, they're very gendered languages, and for the most part, when I go to my workplace and when I go to school, I am being addressed and I speak in Spanish. Being misgendered on the daily happens a lot more frequently in gendered languages versus something like English or Tagalog, which rarely have any gendered words, most especially Tagalog. Tagalog doesn't have any gendered adjectives, doesn't even gendered pronouns, which that's badass. But in Spanish, like I say, my colleagues or my professors see me, they see that I am presenting myself as feminine, and whether or not I'm out to them, more than likely I'm going to be addressed with feminine adjectives, with feminine pronouns, and that happens multiple times a day in every single sentence. Y creo que ese es otro componente de mi problema con la disforia vocal in español. Everything is interconnected, obviously, you know? It doesn't have to do solely with one thing or the other, whether it's just solely the pitch of my voice or solely hearing those adjectives and pronouns misgendering me. It's kind of like a combination of those factors plus the context and situation in which I'm speaking whichever target language. Yun ang naiisip ko. As a result, what do I do about it? As far as being misgendered through conversation, no hay mucho que puedo hacer. Hay que simplemente oír la cosa, aceptarla y olvidarme de eso. But as far as vocal dysphoria is concerned in Spanish, I think it's fair to say that I'm taking it one step at a time. I'm trying to slowly give myself more consciousness of my own voice when I'm speaking to an entire room of students. It may take quite a bit of time before I get used to projecting my voice without pitching it up back to the pitch that I grew up speaking in, that I got so used to speaking in. That's fine. I mean, it's gonna be sucky all the way through, but there is progress. And just as an example, I kind of want to insert a clip here of what my voice sounded like when I first started up this YouTube channel.
We filmed an interview with two different characters and I was the interviewer.
I like to watch back my own videos when I'm in a very healthy state of mind, and I like to hear my higher voice as a sign of how much progress I have made on my own without even necessarily needing to go on T to make these very concrete changes in combating my dysphoria. Obviously, this is not a silver bullet situation. That climactic moment, that moment when living in the closet is going to end and my life can just finally begin and I can start to live authentically, that's not going to happen for at least a year or a couple of years, realistically speaking. But it would be my dream to go on testosterone, to hear my voice drop, and for me, ultimately, to start passing as a guy. I have a bucket list, things that I want to do to start passing as a guy. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I can't check off any of them. It's very difficult for me to film the end of this video because it's hard to talk talk about being pre-transition, being able to visualize what your life is going to be like when you're living your authentic self and it's not happening yet, and you know exactly why, because of its factors X, Y, and Z, and everything is going to affect where you live, your financial and emotional safety net, things like that. But I feel like in the community of trans people on YouTube, at least transmasc creators, I don't get nearly enough content about hearing trans people talk freely to the camera, sharing their experience before they were pre-T. I feel like it's something that is kept very private, and for good reason. I like to keep my struggles private as well. But I'm also hoping that by talking like this at the camera, where you see me, I'm so femme-presenting, but I'm being really open about my dreams of transitioning. Maybe anyone who's watching this can kind of pick up some tips on how to deal with little things, whether it's vocal dysphoria, how to pitch down your voice, and how to just be patient with yourself, with your progress, and how to celebrate every little bit of change that you've done for yourself to get closer to passing. I feel like if I had been in your position watching this kind of video, it would have helped me so much in the earlier stages of my journey figuring out my gender identity. So that's why I'm being very open right now. Obviously, my experience is unique. It's not going to be the same as everybody else's. Some people may have dysphoria in other areas of their life. If some of this video was kind of relatable to you, or if you have any kind of suggestions, reactions, any kind of tips of your own that you could share, please don't hesitate to comment down below, and I would love to interact with other people who may be in the closet or who have already come out, and what are the different stages of your journey. I really want to meet more people in the trans community. Please don't be shy. Thank you for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Ciao ciao. Bye.